Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Often it is not used in the way that you might hope for if you heard those words and felt a tinge of positivity. Instead, they've been used for quotas, for dividing, for division, divisiveness, tribalism, etc. And now corporations have had enough. McDonald's, which is often highly integrated with entertainment companies, especially with their Happy Meals, has had enough. They're dropping DEI. Ronald McDonald, woke no more. Hello folks, and welcome back to the Pro Channel. We are so excited to have you join us as we continue to break down what's breaking down in the entertainment industry and beyond. Folks, as we get ready to go beyond what the typical video would ever do, all we ask is that from you click the like button. All right, we got a great panel. You'll love it. And no, we won't do that. Let's start. Folks, take a look at this. It is out of the street. It says McDonald's announces major changes sparking sharp criticism. It's by Patricia Battle. It says McDonald's faces criticism in a growing trend. Now, I want you to notice, because we're all about covering how the news is covered by the legacy dinosaur media. Why? Well, because folks, you are currently watching the new media, and you are the media, and you have empowered us. By the way, thank you for 150,000 subscribers in just 2 years. What a huge accomplishment, and we owe it all to you, seriously. But we love to cover from the new media perspective, where we are based on meritocracy. You don't watch us unless we do a decent enough job that warrants it. The legacy dinosaurs, they're paid, they're subsidized, they get that institutional money. So we like to see how they're covering things. So pay attention to the way this is presented to you, the flavor of it. McDonald's announces major changes, sparking sharp criticism. Now that, right off the bat, that's negative, right? Well, what is it that's so negative? Let's find out. McDonald's has been working overtime to win back its customers. Well, that's not negative. After it saw sales drop for several financial quarters last year amid higher menu prices. Okay, well, good. We want them to fix that. How do we fix it? The fast food chain recently boosted its advertising spending and even unveiled a new McValue menu with meal deals aimed at attracting frugal customers back to its restaurants. Okay, good. The increased effort comes after the fast food chain's road to recovery hit a snag in October when several of its restaurants suffered an E. coli outbreak that sickened more than 100 people, hospitalized 34, and killed one person. Now, we don't want to make light of that. That was not a good thing, right? But given the size of McDonald's, well, we'll continue on. In McDonald's latest earnings report, its U.S. comparable sales increased by a minor 0.3% year over year during the third quarter. Okay, where's the negative? Okay, well, we got they had an E. coli breakout on that, but everything they're saying right now is like, good. McDonald's is making changes to do better. Here's why they're unhappy. And they're really unhappy. McDonald's rethinks its DEI goals. Oh no, Ronald, you've made 'em mad. As McDonald's battles weak sales, it has opted to kick off the new year by scaling back controversial policies. Good for the street to call them controversial, that have recently caused other companies to face boycott threats. In a new memo, McDonald's revealed that, like many other corporations, it has recently reevaluated some DEI initiatives. The company claims that its decision to do so comes after it engaged with its shareholders and assessed the potential legal impact of the U.S. Supreme Court's June 2023 decision to end affirmative action in college admissions. In other words, McDonald's went so far as to look at this and say, dang it, we might be acting illegally here. Sorry, the street, if you're upset about them wanting to get rid of that. Here's the quote from McDonald's. Last year, we completed a comprehensive, in fact, I think Ronald actually wrote this. So as I read this, folks, I want you to hear it and visualize it coming out of the face of the clown, the Ronald. Last year, we completed a comprehensive civil rights audit that looked at all aspects of inclusion across our system. We also engaged with shareholders to understand their expectations and assess the overall landscape of shareholder proposals. Following the Supreme Court ruling in Students for Fair Admissions Incorporated versus President and Fellows of Harvard College, we also assessed the shifting legal landscape to anticipate how this ruling may impact corporations such as McDonald's. And finally, we benchmarked our approach to other companies who are also reevaluating their own programs. And it's that last part of it that I love so much, because McDonald's basically said, now that all the other companies are doing it, we're going to do it too. Now, here's why this is a worthwhile story for what we cover here regarding McDonald's. One, McDonald's is heavily involved in the entertainment industry because they run these promotional Happy Meals. McDonald's is a huge merchandising partner with some of the biggest studios and gaming companies out there. What did we just watch? We just watched Sonic 3 toys rolled out in a magnificent way. I think Wicked had a promotion with McDonald's. I could be wrong, but I think it did too. And so McDonald's is heavily invested in that. They're getting away from it. McDonald's is also a very concerted family brand. Now, they might not be healthy for you, and I'm not here to debate that, right? I'm not interested in that part of this discussion, but they aim their consumer purchases towards families. Otherwise, why would they have Happy Meals? Well, it's starting to look like, with this cascade of companies dropping DEI, that companies like Disney, they might be the last ones carrying this torch. So I wanted to hand this to the panel. Do you believe that we have reached that point now where companies, particularly in entertainment and maybe Disney, that they're behind the ball, and that these other companies have really already said, we're done with it, we're over it, it's hurting us? What do you think? Have we reached that point now?
I'll jump in just for fun and say this. I think the change in administration has prompted this after the obviously what the Supreme Court ruled, in the last year. They know for a fact they're doing very illegal things, and that they are going to be held accountable for very illegal things, opening them up to giant financial losses because of lawsuits that will be enabled by the next administration. I think every one of these businesses know they've done wrong, and done wrong for the wrong reason, because they've been leveraged by large investment entities such as BlackRock, etc. So I think we're at the end of it. I think we're at the beginning of the end, but this is not a battle that we can afford to lose. It won't be completed in one administration's term of 4 years. It's going to take a following term, and a term after that, most likely. It took 12 years to subvert the American business. It's going to take 12 years to restore it. I mean, we have to come to grips with the fact that, we've been undermined as a society, and it's going to take a long time and dedication to reverse the damage that was caused there, and to make it punishable. And I think that that's what McDonald's and other corporations who've turned back on this they're worried. They're in fear of, is that this is punishable. What they did was punishable, and they probably knew that going into it. The situation is, that the companies that get out first are going to be the companies that survive, the companies that maintain these positions, because Larry Fink wants to push change on the world so we can get a one world government structure, because the postmodern neo-Marxism is the model for their future. Well, I've said it before, it's not for any free country, and if we want to stay free, we have to turn it back. So you asked the question. Yeah, I think this is the turning point.
Yeah, I'll add to that. If you ever want to know why a company makes a decision, follow the money. And you just stated, Pro, or the article did, that they've been losing money over several quarters. Time to make a change. Time to do something different. We can't keep doing what we've been doing. And yeah, maybe it's time to go back to what we used to do, which is make ourselves a family company. That's when McDonald's was at its apex, when they were doing things for families, when you can bring everybody to the McDonald's restaurants. We can sit down and enjoy a quick meal together as a family. We're starting to get back to more family values in this country, because frankly, all of this stuff has ran the family away and chased them away from their products, Disney included. So I think you're going to see a lot more families say, hey, if you're going to push all of this DEI woke agenda on us, we're going in a different direction. We're going to start, putting money in your competitors' pockets. How about that? We're going to start taking care of your competitors, and you're going to go out of business. And so I think Disney sees it. I think McDonald's clearly has seen it, and they're going to try to clean that up, which is a good thing. Because look, let's be honest. Me as a father, my kids are all older now. I don't want to have to worry about what's going on when I take my kids to a restaurant, when I take my kids to a theme park, when I go in to see a movie. I want to be able to go in there with a clear conscience and a clear mind, knowing that everything that this experience that I'm about to get is wholesome for my kids. I also think there may be another factor with this when it comes to RFK Jr. and his, Make America Healthy Again. Maybe they say, hey, we got to start tackling, this thing in a different way. So let's get these families back in the mix. Go ahead, Culture.
Australian hamburger. No, I wanted to add to that because an Australian hamburger has 3 ingredients in it in Australia, right? The McDonald's hamburger, right? So whereas here, you don't know what you're eating. And that's I kind of like that we're going to know what we're eating again, and processed foods are going to be not really available so much in the United States. I'm feeling like a lot of corporations need not only the reinforcement of what you're suggesting, the return to family and family values, which I'm a big fan of,
and beef
especially traditional American values as well. But I'm also a big fan of not having a bunch of garbage in my food. And I think McDonald's is right in the Venn diagram of, oh boy, we got to fix stuff.
So I mean, think about that. If RFK is pushing this idea, hey, we got to get back to health. All of these companies that are doing things that are not quite as healthy, they're going to have to attack this on multiple fronts. They're going to, people are just going to stop eating McDonald's, period, because it's fast food. Fast food isn't necessarily great for you. So they have to start trying to target their audiences a different way. And that's going to be, hey, let's bring the families back into the mix. Let's start appealing to families more. And then maybe that'll, keep the profits coming in. But yeah, I think just really the scrutiny of the content of the food, that's going to be huge, man. That's going to be huge. I think RFK is going to really open some eyes as to what it is we're doing with our food. At least I hope so, because it's not good, like you said, Culture.
So a backlash is brewing from those who don't like this, though. We're here talking about it, we're analyzing it, but there's a segment of the population that is very unhappy about these companies dropping DEI. And, well, it seems to me that it's not advantageous for those companies to have DEI. Perhaps the only reason they were doing this in the past was to placate institutions and the government, which were in favor of it. But it may have been anti-business all along. I think it probably was. Meanwhile, we have these publications like, and I don't know if this is advocate or advocate. It's one of those tricky English things, right? I don't know if this is a noun or a verb. Maybe I should clarify.
The advocate.
The advocate.
Advocate.
All right, well, the advocate is advocating, and here's what they're saying. They're hating that this is happening, and they call it this way. They say these 10 major companies caved to the far, far, far right and stopped DEI programs. So these companies are getting backlashes. This is back from November. They're mad at McDonald's. They're mad at Walmart. They're mad at Molson Coors, Ford Motor Company. They're mad at John Deere, Lowe's, Harley Davidson, Brown Forman, Tractor Supply, Toyota. And those
they're mad at Jack Daniels. That's what Brown Forman is.
They might need it after what's happening. So
yeah, I mean, they could stay mad. I don't care. We need to get back to some. Just whatever. Stay mad, be upset with them. But at the end of the day, we got to get back to what these companies want to make money. All right, these companies want to make money. They are in the business to make money, not to push some progressive politics. They're trying to make money. They have, workers, and they have, shareholders and people that they are accountable to. And they got to start looking at the bottom line and saying, hey, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. What are we doing here? We got to start moving in a different direction, because at this point, we are losing not only our customers, but, we're throwing our company away, for what? For an agenda? If it made money, and all of these people, the advocate that are advocating for this stuff, if you guys were the majority of, purchasers and buyers, and you guys bought all of these products, nobody could say anything. All right. It's like, hey man, we're doing great. Our sales are up. We're in the black. Everything is phenomenal. We're doing great on our quarterly returns. We're going to keep going down this DEI route. Obviously it's not working. So they got to change up. That's the end of the story. They got to change up. They got to get back to what made these companies great to begin with. And that's, hey, like McDonald's and Disney, hey, let's start reintroducing ourselves to families, because the families are the ones that are going to put money in our pockets. They're the ones that are going to show up to the theme parks. They're the ones that's going to show up to the movies. So let's start like, look what happened with Inside Out 2. That should tell everybody everything they need to know when it comes to this situation. You got to bring the families back into the theaters. The
And
same thing
Inside Out 2, I'll guarantee you Inside Out 2 moves some Happy Meals. Marvin, I'll give you the last word on this one. It's funny to me that now McDonald's hates DEI more than they hate the Hamburglar. What say you?
Well, yeah, look at the way McDonald's used to be a staple of American culture. When I was a kid, I remember kids were having their birthday parties at McDonald's. McDonald's was a place that you kind of centered your entire weekend around almost in a lot of ways. But I think what's happening right now is November was eye-opening for a lot of these corporations when they saw just how many people turned up to vote against leftist identity politics and wokeness. All of a sudden, every single, everyone from celebrities to corporations sat back and went, whoa, because now all of a sudden everyone is chasing that magical word based. They want people on social media saying that they're based. We've seen it with Whitney Cummings. We're seeing it with McDonald's. We're seeing it with other corporations that are all now trying to push back against the far left movement in order to let the rest of the country who, had written every company with a DEI initiative off to suddenly be like, oh, these guys are good. Let's give them our money. Let's give them our attention. Let's laugh at things Whitney Cummings says. Things like that. I think that you're seeing a huge shift toward that.
Very, very well said. Yes. Folks, will pay attention and we'll let you know, will companies like Disney be the last holdouts when it comes to DEI? McDonald's definitely will not. And yet again, folks, we have come to the end. But what a video it has been, and we hope you agree. Folks, if you had a good time with us, consider clicking that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell, and drop a comment right on down below. We care about your thoughts. Folks, we also want to invite you to partake in thatparkplace.com. Of course, www. You get the idea. Thatparkplace.com. It is the website telling the truth, and it is a rising star across the web for pop culture news coverage and analysis. Go over there and bookmark it today. Folks, we're bookmarking you as a great guest that we appreciate. Until the next time we have the honor of spending time with you, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, folks, you better believe it, keep having fun.